Like most dreams, they begin with a simple thought, a what if. Then somewhere along life's journey, that what if evolves into a belief. For some, that belief will drive them to put it all on the line, to sacrifice everything they know to become a champion. Different characters from all walks of life will enter the cage to prove that they have what it takes to compete at the highest level, to express their desire for greatness through the art of combat. For some, it has been their life's mission, a way to add to their storied legacy. For others, it's an opportunity to prove that they are the new talent, the new breed of fighter waiting to usher in the next era of mixed martial arts. While there are no set blueprints, no standards, no clear path to greatness, there is one thing that acts as a driving force that cannot be ignored. Though separated by time, culture, and discipline, every fighter will come face to face with that force. The desire to have their hand raised and be recognized as the greatest featherweight fighter of all time. Opportunities like this don't come often, and when they do, each fighter will be reminded why they sacrificed it all. Why this moment, above all, is their moment. It will define them. It will challenge them and force them to take it back to where it all began. A simple what if. Welcome to the Bellator Featherweight World Grand Prix, exclusively on DAZN.
What makes this Bellator Featherweight Grand Prix so interesting is that anyone could really take this. You know, every single man in this tournament has a real good chance of winning, and it's going to make it really exciting. Every single fight is one you need to watch.
You've got a lot of big, heavy, hard hitters in 45 that have actually fought at 55 and knocked people out, and now they're doing this at 45. I think some of the hardest hitting featherweights in the world are in the Bellator 45 division. That's what makes it particularly dangerous to fight in, because they've got the speed of the lighter guys, the heavy hands as well.
Bellator has done a great job of saying, you know what, we are so stacked in this division, we're going to put on a 16-man tournament. You must win 4 fights to be the Bellator featherweight champion. That says everything about how deep that division is.
The great thing about the tournament, as we've seen so far with the heavyweight tournament and the welterweight tournaments, it creates stars. It builds big names into even bigger names. The matchups, of course, are going to create the kind of explosive fights that draw fans to come and watch.
The fans are going to find this format exciting. You have all the best featherweights in the world competing against each other. The matchups that we are going to be able to see, wrestler versus grappler, striker versus wrestler, striker versus striker. You're going to see everything you can think of in MMA.
I look at the list and I immediately think, like, this is some Kumite type shit. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the list, you look at the contract, you look at the wording on the contract. You know, you must be willing to fight anybody at any time, at any moment. You know, it's like an ultimate thrill chase.
Every guy in this tournament is a stud. You know, nobody's to be taken lightly. I mean, Tyrone Claxton, Pitbull, Matador, you know, Daniel Strauss. I mean, it's a stacked pool. I mean, everybody's a shark. There's no minnows in here. So it's do or die in every situation, every fight. You have to be on your A game. There's no excuses. At the end of the night, if you aren't ready for this fight, you know, you're out.
To get the best 16 guys, and it's whoever shows up. The number 10 seeded guy can just go on, you know, if he shows up and he's on fire, then he gets to keep fighting. And with this talent-rich pool, I think you shuffle the deck, you get a different tournament winner each time. But that's why it's so important that you make sure you show up and that you're the guy that are winning the fights and keep going on.
Grand Prix is for the best of the best, so I want to be the best fighter in the world, you know. That's why I really like it.
This Grand Prix does represent the best of the best, man. There's, you know, I could name all the guys from top to bottom. I faced most of them already, and I'm excited to face the other half now too, if it's possible. This is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. I'm just really grateful that Scott Coker made this possible, you know, and Bellator made this possible, and that we're sitting here right now talking about it. It's very exciting.
The inception of this tournament really was created because we didn't have enough room for 8 great guys. We had room for 16 great athletes, some of the best fighters in the world. So we thought, how can we expand this? How can we make the rules fair? How can we break it down to make it a tournament that will be, something that the fans remember, the fighters remember, and this could be the greatest tournament in the featherweight division of all time.
As the brackets came out, I went, oh wow, oh wow. This guy and this guy and this guy. And I just started looking at the names, and then when the matchups came out, I saw exactly who was facing who. This made to be the best featherweight tournament, if not the best tournament we've ever seen.
The matchups, even in the first round, all 8 fights are really competitive. There are so many 50-50s here, and that's what makes it so thrilling. You start on September the 7th in San Jose, and 4 of those fights will play out from the first round. And then late in September, at the Forum in Inglewood, that brilliant venue on the edge of Los Angeles, you have Juan Archuleta challenging Pitbull for the featherweight title with 3 of the other fights from the first round on the card. So by the end of September, we already know who the 8 quarterfinalists are.
They're going to take those winning 8 fighters, and like it used to be done in K1 in Japan, there's going to be a lottery system. The fighter's going to go and they're going to pick a ball, and they're going to break open that ball, and it's going to have a number, and that number is going to show where they can be in this tournament. So if you're number 1, you're going to be able to go and pick where you want to place your name on that bracket board.
Essentially, the fighters are going to pick when they want to fight and who they want to fight, unless you're the last 2 slots. To me, that was the random drawing that I thought was fair for this tournament, and I'm really excited because there's some strategy here as to what, if you're injured, if you're not injured, when you want to fight, when you don't want to fight, who you want to fight first, and who you want to stay away from.
Do you want to try to win the title early and carry it the rest of the way, or do you want to try to win it in the finals? That has to do with how well the fighter understands himself, how well he is feeling physically, also how well he knows his camps are going, and how well he matches up against his opponents stylistically, the ones that are still left in the tournament after round 1.
It's going to tell the fans a lot. You're going to see a lot of, thinking on each fighter's part of where do I want to be in the bracket. And then when you get to the last 4, now they're picking who they're going to fight. This is about strategy. This is about, there's a fight taking place in the cage, and now there's a mental fight taking place outside of the cage with this lottery pick. It will make it very exciting. It will make it very fun for the fans and for the fighters.
The fact that it gives it structure, because MMA is completely wild, wild west sometimes, but this gives it structure. And it's great for the fans to be able to kind of plan their year about, but at least being able to follow their favorite fighter and see how he progresses.
And once those 8 fighters pick their slot, those will become the brackets that will move forward. Very, very excited. This is something that I've been wanting to do for 3 years.
I still have a lot of family in Mexico, and I would love to take care of them. My mother and father have been working since they crossed the border here in the United States. I've always seen my parents, uncles, aunts, family members work 2, 3, 4 jobs to be able to provide for themselves. But I do know that I would be able to help and perhaps even start a business, start my own Mexican bakery here in Milwaukee, and give them jobs. I'd like to do something like that, but I most definitely want to help my family with that.
I'm already making plans with that money. Finally, I'm gonna be able to buy a home for me, for my son, for my girlfriend, properly start my family, give my son conditions that I never had, because I came from a poor background. Will be truly a proud moment in my life, be able to offering that to my family.
Yesterday, my wife asked me, how much is in forint, in Hungarian money? And I said to her, how much is? And she was like, holy shit. Of course, this money is a life change money, so it's a more motivation. Of course, I can say that, oh, I don't care about the money. Of course, I care about this money. It's $1 million, it's a lot.
I could change the rest of my life, not just my life, but my family's life for forever. My son, you know, he can have his college paid off. You know, he's set for the rest of his life. You know, if I invest the money properly, I can make it last and, you know, set my family up for the long term.
I'm investing in my apps. I'm talking from a standpoint of budget for marketing, whether it's email marketing, social media marketing, in-person marketing, live events. You have to pay for exposure. You can get some of it for free, but for the most part, you know, paid exposure is what shows results. And I think that money can help out a lot.
$1 million is a nice paycheck, nice payout. I think we're all fighting for that. It will help me, you know, shape my future, you know, help me pay bills, help me, you know, get on to the next part of my life and whatnot. But for me, it's something great at the, you know, it's that goal that's at the end of the rainbow. So it is, you know, it's nice to have, but it's nothing that I'm chasing. It's just the business part.
You know, $1 million would change my life. That's life-changing money for anybody. But the biggest thing is that you made that money off fighting. You know, we all fight with these big dreams, and to come in here and get paid for what you do. You know, you don't always get paid what you're worth. And when you start off, you're amateur, you're fighting for a t-shirt. I've been anywhere from warming up in cattle guards and fighting at a rodeo to, you know, to the big show. It's like almost being accommodated for all those years where you were freaking couch surfing, and you see how two guys fight over money for their family. You know, you're gonna see two guys try to steamroll each other.
I was a two-time featherweight champion. I've won 2 tournaments in the past. I pretty much accomplished everything I needed to as a featherweight. And now that they're throwing in the Grand Prix for a grand prize of $1 million, that's something I've never accomplished before. It's something new to me, and I have all the motivation in the world to want to win this tournament.
It's historic. I've been with Bellator for a long time, so to be chosen to be a part of this Grand Prix, I mean, it means everything to my heart. So I'm going to bring everything. I'm going to lay my heart on the line and put it all out there and just swing some leather.
We all got different stories, you know, different things we done been through, different, you know, reasons why we here, motivations, you know. What pushes me ain't gonna be what pushes him. It don't matter what somebody's fighting for. You know, I gotta go in and get my job done and, you know, at the end of the day, reap that reward.
I am living my dreams now, so it's crazy. I didn't get enough attention. I did 4 fights in a Bellator, 4 finishes, 2 knockouts, 2 submission. I deserve a little bit hype, and I am a 13-0. You know, I am a finisher, so I am always looking for the finish.
Being world champion is not enough. My main goal is become an icon, become immortal. I don't have a match for anyone. I'm going for all of them, and that's it. Beat 4 bodies, become world champion, and continue my way to the top.
All the eyes are going to be on these fights and following this tournament. So to be able to be a part of that, it's huge. The record outside of the tournament doesn't matter. The record inside does. So we all go in with a clean slate. And, you know, what I've been training for is to hand out naps all the way to the finals and hand one more out and collect that check.
I think a lot of people are looking at the experience of these fighters, but I've always been the type of person that likes to swim with sharks. So winning this tournament just shows that the record doesn't really mean anything. Like, you know that. Everybody that knows anything about fighting knows that. Hey, even as a 5-0 pro, I can go out here and beat the best of the best.
I'm just hunting for that world title. I gotta sit back and watch and be ready for anybody, anywhere, anytime. I'm not just thinking about Patricio Pitbull, I'm thinking about all these guys. And I always have been, because I knew even before this Grand Prix came up, it could be any single one of these guys at any time. One phone call could just be, beep, all right, give me the date, give me the name, give me the contract, let's go. Something that's gonna be greater for me is going out there and winning this whole thing and coming out with 2 straps and $1 million.
September 7th in San Jose starts the Featherweight Grand Prix here at Bellator. I cannot wait. Let's get it on.